Hello, we're going to be talking about QuickBooks Online today and how to deal with negative accounts receivable. Let's take a look right now and take a look at our reports to show you what that looks like and why it's a problem and how we can deal with it. So here we have what is the accounts receivable aging detail, and you can see here I have negative $7,000 sitting in Amy's bird sanctuary. So I'm wondering, how does that happen? And then here I have John Milton with another a negative account for $750. These can be corrected, but I think one issue that you want to think about if you're using the receivable system is to reconcile monthly, to actually look over at your detail to see if there are these kind of issues, because it's a lot easier to fix it earlier than if you wait a year or a couple years to try to clean this up. So what we want to do is we'll take care of Amy's bird sanctuary first, and what we want to do is we would want to go to under your company and account settings, down under advanced we have automation, and oftentimes you'll find that the automatic bill payment is on, and you want to turn that off. And that way, when we do these adjusting journal entries, we can pinpoint where or who we want the change to be applied to. So that's important. You want to take that first step. Then we'll come out of here, and then over on the left-hand side in the darkened box, we're going to do Amy's first, and we're going to actually fix this problem. And why do these problems happen? First of all, why does Amy have that negative $7,000 sitting there as a payment? It's because the payment there was no invoice when we got the payment, and the amount was received and booked or recorded as received payment. So that's really the issue here. And now what we're going to do to correct this is we're going to actually create an invoice to offset this money that we've already received. So we're going to click an invoice. We're going to go to Amy's bird sanctuary, and we're going to do the date that we're writing it off. And under product and service, we're going to put the product and service. That could be anything. We really don't know what that work was, so we have to go back and say, oh yes, she paid us $7,000 for gardening, or was it design? We'll just put gardening, okay? And then the amount was $7,000. Now also you'll notice that there's this box here that we can click whether this was subject to sales tax or not. In this situation, it wasn't subject to sales tax. So now we are going to, we've got the received payment there. We're going to save this, and we've saved that invoice, and now we're going to click the box that says receive payment. Now you can see that we've got Amy's bird sanctuary and the date. We like that. And I've got two invoices. Well, this is why I turned off that one function of the automatic assignment of a payment, because I don't want this $7,000 applied to this invoice. This invoice hasn't been paid yet, so I'm going to unclick this. All right. So now the only two things that are going to be here are the invoice that I just set up and this earlier payment that was made that was causing a negative accounts receivable account. I could hit save and new, but I'm going to just go save and close. Now if we go back to our accounts receivable aging detail, you can see that both of those items have disappeared as far as Amy's concerned, and so that's good news. But you'll notice that the invoice that she really does owe currently is sitting there to be paid, so that's very helpful. Let's go ahead and talk about AJEs. When your CPA talks to you about making adjusting journal entries or gives you the adjusting journal entries, a lot of times they'll want to adjust accounts receivable, and they'll give you the adjustment to do that, but that's really not the way QuickBooks prefers, either online or the desktop version, because as you can see here, there's been an adjusting journal entry made to say, look, this John Milton isn't going to pay this $750. But now what's happened is we end up having, by doing this journal entry, we have two different elements here that have not matched. So this is a problem. What should have happened is a credit memo should have been issued against this receivable rather than a journal entry. Let's take a look at the reports, and I think this will bring it home. If we take a look at the balance sheet, here we've got the accounts receivable of $4,456.52, and if I change it to a cash basis and run the report, you can see that I get a different number. On a cash basis, I have a negative receivable, which absolutely drives people crazy. So how does this happen? Because they use an adjusting journal entry rather than using a credit memo. Again, this is why it's so important. At the end of every month, not only are you supposed to be reconciling your bank account, but you should be reconciling your accounts receivable. I've outlined on our website at arthurlander.com under the blog an outline for you to follow so that you can go ahead and deal with these negative accounts receivable. Thank you, and let's have a great day. Take care.